You feel it, don't you? That hot flash of shame that crawls up your neck the moment the words leave their mouth. It's not a physical blow, but it lands with the force of one. The sarcastic jab in the meeting, the condescending joke in the group chat, the passive-aggressive remark at the family table. In that instant, the world shrinks to the size of your own humiliation. The air gets thick. Your mind races for a comeback, for something, anything to say, but finds only a void. And you stand there, exposed and powerless, while the silent chorus of onlookers validates your attacker with their smirks or their silence. This is the modern arena, and you are the designated target. This dread has become the soundtrack to your life. You walk into rooms scanning for threats, not opportunities. You hold your tongue when you have a brilliant idea, because silence is safer than becoming a target. You replay the moments of humiliation over and over, each loop carving the wound a little deeper. And the enemy, the real enemy, isn't the clever bully with the sharp tongue. It's the traitorous voice inside your own skull, the one that whispers the great lie the second the attack is over. They're right. You are weak. If you fight back, you'll just look foolish and make it worse. Just take it. Survive. That voice is the architect of your prison. It has convinced you that your only options are to cower in submission or lash out with clumsy emotional anger, both of which hand victory directly to your tormentor. They feed on your reaction. Your shame is their nourishment. Your anger is their trophy. This slow spiritual death, this life of playing small to avoid the spotlight of ridicule, is the cost of your inaction. Every missed opportunity, every stifled opinion, every eroded piece of self-respect is a monument to the power you have willingly surrendered. You've tried their hollow advice, just be more confident, just ignore them, and it failed, leaving you more helpless than before. But what if I told you there is a third path, not of submission, not of rage, but of absolute unbreakable power? What if I told you there is an ancient code, a martial art for the mind forged in the crucibles of Roman politics and the bloody sands of the Colosseum? This is not philosophy for dusty libraries. This is an arsenal, an operational system for your mind designed by emperors and warriors to make a human being fundamentally uninsultable. We are not here to learn how to trade insults. We are here to learn how to make them irrelevant. We are here to build a fortress inside your mind that no verbal assault can ever breach. Before we forge the first weapon, you must prove you are ready for the discipline. This isn't entertainment, this is a training ground. Your first act of defiance is to commit. Subscribe to this channel. Hit the like button. This is your signal that you are done being a spectator in your own life. Warriors do not enter the arena without commitment. Then go to the comments and declare your oath to this process. Write this exact phrase, "I will not be harmed." This is more than a comment. It is a contract with yourself. It is the first brick in your fortress. Do it now. Once your commitment is made, prepare for battle. In the next few minutes, I am not going to give you shallow psychological tricks or flimsy comebacks that will fail you under pressure. I will deliver the 5 lethal retorts of Marcus Aurelius, 5 verbal parries, designed not to wound your attacker, but to expose the absurdity of their attack and instantly reclaim the frame of the conversation. These are not just words, they are tactical weapons. They are the keys to disarming any bully and shattering the power dynamic forever. The war for your dignity begins now. Pay attention. Let's be brutally honest about the disease. You think the problem is them, the bully, the sarcastic co-worker, the condescending relative. You are wrong. They are merely the symptom. The disease is a rot inside of you, an infection of the spirit called permission. Every time a verbal dart is thrown, it is just a meaningless vibration in the air until you reach out, catch it, and plunge it into your own heart. You give it meaning. You give it power. The insult is the spark, but your validation is the gasoline you pour on the fire. You have been trained to believe your feelings are fragile, sacred things that must be protected from the outside world. This is the great lie of the modern age. Your feelings are not you, they are weather patterns, and you have been standing in a hurricane, convinced you can stop the wind by wishing it away, when the only real power is to build a shelter of stone inside your own mind. Look at what this disease has done to your body. Look in the mirror. See how your shoulders curve inward, a permanent physical apology for taking up space. Notice the way you hold your breath when a certain person enters the room, starving your own brain of oxygen as a preemptive surrender. This isn't just in your head, warrior. Your body is keeping score. The cortisol flooding your system every night as you replay the day's humiliations is poison. It's weakening your immune system, destroying your sleep and aging you from the inside out. You are carrying the physical burden of battles you refuse to fight. Your posture, your breathing, your very chemistry have become a monument to your fear. Your body is a cage built by the architect of your own inaction. Now, let's talk about the tomb you call a career. Every great idea you swallowed, every meeting you sat through in silence, every project you let someone else take credit for, that was the disease at work. You have a mind capable of strategy, of innovation, of leadership. But it is shackled by a single pathetic thought. What if they laugh at me? You fear the sting of ridicule more than you desire the glory of achievement. And so, you have placed a ceiling on your own potential. A ceiling made not of glass, but of cowardice. The clever bully in your office doesn't have power over you. You have simply handed them the keys to your ambition. You are not a victim of a toxic workplace. You are a willing prisoner of your own desperate need for approval. This poison doesn't stop at the office door. It follows you home. It sits at your dinner table. It seeps into the conversations with those you claim to love. You let the passive-aggressive comment from a family member slide because it's not worth the fight. You laugh along awkwardly when a friend makes you the butt of the same tired joke for the 100th time. You call this keeping the peace. Let me tell you what it is. It is a profound act of self-betrayal. With every silent nod, you are teaching the world precisely how to treat you. You are hanging a sign around your neck that reads, "My dignity is negotiable, my respect is optional." This isn't kindness. It is an abdication of the throne of your own life. And you've tried to fight back, haven't you? You've read the hollow advice. Just ignore them. This is the most insidious lie of all. It is the counsel of ghosts. You cannot ignore a wound that is actively bleeding. Ignoring the attack is not an act of strength. It is a declaration that the attacker's frame is correct, that their judgment has power, and that your only recourse is to pretend you don't feel the pain. It is a slow-motion surrender. It validates their power by demonstrating your inability to challenge it. Ignoring a bully is like ignoring a fire in your house. You might not see the flames from the street, but you are still burning alive inside. The truth you have been avoiding is this: the bully is not your enemy. They are a test. The universe is sending you the same test, over and over, person after person, to see if you are finally ready to confront the real enemy. And the real enemy is your addiction to comfort. Your terror of the friction of confrontation. You have been conditioned to believe that a smooth life is a good life. You have been sold the lie that strength is about avoiding conflict. This is a slave's morality. True strength, the strength of a warrior, is forged in the fire of necessary conflict. The bully is just the whetstone. The real war is against the soft, weak part of yourself that would rather be humiliated in comfort than stand tall in a storm. So here we are, at the precipice. You can continue down this path of slow spiritual suicide. You can allow your world to shrink, one sarcastic comment at a time, until all that's left is a small, safe, grey box where nothing is ever risked and nothing is ever gained. A life where you die long before they bury your body. Or you can make a different choice. Right now, you can decide that the pain of discipline is infinitely preferable to the pain of regret. You can choose to walk into the fire, to burn away the weakness, the fear, and the lies, and to forge what remains into a weapon. The choice is yours, warrior, but do not fool yourself. There is no middle ground. There is only the arena or the grave. You think this pain is new? You think your humiliation is a unique product of this soft, modern age of social media and open-plan offices? You are mistaken. This is not a bug in your personal software, warrior. This is an ancient virus of the human condition, a weakness of the soul diagnosed and dissected 2,000 years ago by men who faced real swords, not just sharp words. The Stoics, men like Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of the known world, and Epictetus, a man who was born a slave. They saw this disease clearly. They understood that the world would always be filled with fools, cowards, and bullies. They knew you could not change the world, so they created a system to change the warrior. The diagnosis is brutally simple. The wound is not inflicted by the insulter. The wound is self-inflicted. Listen closely, because this is the key that unlocks your prison. An insult is just a vibration in the air, a sequence of pixels on a screen. It is an external event, utterly neutral, as meaningless as the sound of the wind or the color of a stone. It has no power to harm you. The harm comes in the second step, the step you have been trained to take automatically, blindly, your entire life. The harm comes when you give your assent, when you hear their words and your mind whispers, "Yes, that's true. I have been diminished. I have been wounded." You are the one who validates the attack. You are the one who drives the knife home. The Stoics called this the tyranny of impressions. An event happens, the sarcastic comment, the condescending laugh. This is the first impression. The undisciplined mind immediately, without thought, slaps a label on it. This is bad. This is an attack. This is humiliating. And from that judgment, all the poison flows. The shame, the anger, the cortisol. The Stoic warrior trains to create a space between the impression and the judgment. He learns to see the event for what it is, just words, and to challenge the automatic label. He becomes the gatekeeper of his own mind, inspecting every impression that seeks entry and asking one simple question: are you within my control or outside of it? This brings us to the great battlefield of the mind, the dichotomy of control. You have been exhausting yourself fighting a war you can never win. The war to control what other people think, say, and do. You want them to like you. You want them to respect you. You want them to be silent. This is insanity. It is like trying to command the tides. The only territory you can ever truly command is the empire of your own mind, your judgments, your responses, your choices. The bully's opinion of you is outside your control. It is, therefore, irrelevant. Your assent to that opinion is entirely within your control. It is, therefore, the only thing that matters. Let me be clear. This is not a call for passivity. This is not ignoring them. This is a radical, strategic re-engagement with reality. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you unleash a tidal wave of energy that was previously wasted on anxiety and frustration. All that power can now be turned inward to the only task that matters, forging an inner citadel so strong that the opinions of others become nothing more than noise outside the walls. You don't need their approval. You don't need their silence. You need only your own rational judgment, and that is something no one can ever take from you. The men who forged this code were not theorists living in ivory towers. They were generals, senators, slaves, and emperors. They faced exile, betrayal, and the constant threat of a violent death. They understood that a mind enslaved to the opinions of others was a mind unfit for command, unfit for freedom, unfit for life. They saw that the person who could anger you was your master. And so, they declared war, not on their external enemies, but on the internal traitor, the part of the soul that begs for validation from the unworthy, the part that flinches at the judgment of fools. So, the sickness is clear. You have been granting power to things that have no power. You have been consenting to your own harm. You have been fighting on the wrong battlefield, trying to control a world that will never bend to your will. The diagnosis is complete. Now, we forge the cure. We are not going to teach you how to wish. The bullies away. We are going to re-engineer your mind so that their words bounce off your spirit like pebbles off a shield of steel. We are going to take this ancient diagnosis and turn it into a modern arsenal. The weapons are waiting. The question is, are you ready to wield them? Listen closely, warrior. We have completed the diagnosis. Now, we begin the amputation. We are going to cut the rot from your soul, and we start with the first and most brutal law of the Stoic warrior. This is not a theory. This is not a suggestion. This is a command etched in the stone of reality itself. If you learn nothing else, you will learn this. Engrave it on the inside of your skull. The first brutal law: you will not participate in your own destruction. This is the foundation of your fortress. Every other weapon, every other strategy is built upon this single, unshakable principle. Your participation is required for your own humiliation. Without your consent, the insult is dead air. Without your agreement, the attack has no target. Let me make this painfully clear. An insult is a proposal, that's all it is. The bully, the sarcastic colleague, the condescending relative, they are offering you a contract. The terms of this contract are simple. I will say these words, and in exchange, you will agree to feel shame, anger, and weakness. For your entire life, you have been signing this contract without even reading it. You sign it with your flinch. You sign it with your downcast eyes. You sign it with your stammering reply. You sign it with the hot flush of blood to your face. From this moment forward, you will refuse to sign. You will look at their pathetic offer, their flimsy piece of paper, and you will let it fall to the floor, untouched. You will not engage. You will not debate. You will simply refuse to be a party to the transaction. You have been trained by a soft world to believe that your feelings are an accurate report of reality. This is the most dangerous lie you have ever been told. Feeling hurt does not mean you have been harmed. Feeling offended does not mean an offense has occurred. Your feelings are nothing more than untrained, primitive chemical reactions to external stimuli. They are the flinch of a spooked animal. A warrior does not allow the spooked animal to command the citadel. You have been worshipping your feelings as gods when they are, in fact, unruly dogs that need to be put on a leash. The first law commands you to stop outsourcing your sense of well-being to the whims of your own nervous system. You are the commander. Your feelings are the troops. It is time they started taking orders. Think of your mind as a fortified city. You are the gatekeeper. Every event, every word, every impression that comes from the outside world is a traveler seeking entry. For years, you have left the gates wide open. Thieves, liars, and fools have been allowed to wander in, set fires, and vandalize the temples of your soul. No more. The first law is the act of shutting the gate. When the insult arrives, you do not let it in. You meet it at the wall. You inspect its papers. You ask, is this true? Is this relevant? Is this within my control? And you will find 100 times out of 100 that the opinion of a fool is none of these things. And so you deny it entry. You turn it away. The traveler can scream and rage outside the walls all day long. It does not matter. Inside the city there is peace. This is the source of true power. The bully is not looking for a fight. They are looking for a reaction. Your emotional response is their food. Your shame, your anger, that is the drug they are addicted to. When you apply the first law, when you refuse to participate in your own harm, you starve them. You deny them their fix. Imagine a boxer throwing a punch with all his might, only for his opponent to vanish into thin air. The boxer doesn't just miss, he loses his balance, he looks foolish, he exhausts himself punching at nothing. This is what you do to the verbal bully when you withhold your assent. You don't block the punch, you remove the target. The attack, having nothing to land on, simply collapses under the weight of its own absurdity. Do not tell me this is difficult. Of course it is difficult. You are undoing a lifetime of slave conditioning. Your reflexes will scream for you to sign the contract. The animal part of your brain will tell you to feel the shame. This is the forge, warrior. This is the moment the hammer strikes the steel. Discipline is not the absence of the impulse to be weak. It is the act of overriding that impulse. Every time you feel the sting of an insult and consciously choose not to consent to it, you are performing one repetition in the training of your soul. You are building the muscle of indifference. You are hardening the steel of your mind. The pain of this training is the fire that burns away the impurities. So here is your first mission. For the next 7 days, you will become the unblinking guardian of your own mind. Your sole focus is the enforcement of the first law. You will observe every word, every comment, every interaction, and you will consciously and deliberately practice the art of withholding your assent. Treat it as a drill. When a sarcastic email lands, you will see it, acknowledge it as a proposal for you to feel bad, and you will consciously reject the proposal. When a backhanded compliment is given, you will recognize it as a contract for you to feel small, and you will refuse to sign. This is not about winning an argument, it's about winning the war inside your own skull. The battle for your freedom begins with this one, simple, brutal act of defiance. I will not help you destroy me. Enough with the theory. The time for discussion is over. The steel is hot on the anvil, and the voice of the coward inside you is already whispering, "This sounds good in a video, but my life is different. My pain is real. My anger is justified." It is trying to negotiate the terms of your surrender before the battle has even begun. It seeks loopholes in the law. It begs for exceptions. We will grant it none. The first law is not a philosophy to be debated. It is a weapon to be wielded. Now we take it from the forge and into the blood and mud of your daily existence. This is where the transformation happens. This is where the armor is fitted. Pay attention. Let's take the first beast by the throat, rage. Someone cuts you off. In traffic, a colleague takes credit for your work. A promise is broken. The red mist descends. The blood boils. Your undisciplined mind screams for retaliation. This is the proposal. The contract offered to you is to trade your peace, your reason, and your power for a fleeting, useless moment of emotional release. You have been signing this contract your entire life. The Stoic warrior sees the proposal for what it is, an invitation to insanity. The external event, the car, the colleague, is nothing. It is a gust of wind. The internal assent to rage is everything. You will look at the invitation to lose your mind, and you will calmly, coldly decline. You will not participate. The rage will starve without your permission to feast on your soul. Now for the fire of physical pain, the final set in the gym when your muscles are screaming for mercy. The chronic ache that never fully leaves, the exhaustion of a sleepless night. The undisciplined mind immediately assents to the narrative of suffering. It whispers, "This is too much. I can't. I'm a victim of this pain." This is a lie. The sensation of pain is a raw, neutral signal. The suffering is the story you tell yourself about that signal. The first law commands you to separate the two. Acknowledge the sensation, the fire in your muscles, the ache in your back, but you will not sign the contract that says this sensation has the power to break your will. The burn is a signal of growth. The ache is a reminder that you are alive. You will feel the pain, but you will refuse to become its prisoner. You will not consent to suffer. What of loss? The wound that cuts deepest, the death of a loved one, the end of a relationship, the failure of a dream. Here, the world will tell you that your collapse is not only acceptable, but required. It will offer you the contract of perpetual victimhood. The Stoic does not deny the winter. He does not pretend the cold does not bite. The event is real, the pain is real, but he refuses to assent to the judgment that his life is now over, that the sun will never rise again. Grief is the tax we pay on love, warrior. It must be paid. But despair is a choice. It is the act of signing a contract that says you will live in the grave with what you have lost. You will honor the memory. You will feel the absence. But you will not participate in the destruction of what remains. You will not give despair your signature. And what of the quietest, most insidious enemy, the serpent of sloth? The voice that whispers in the warm comfort of your bed, just 5 more minutes. The one that says, you can do it tomorrow. This is the enemy that offers you the most seductive contract of all, immediate comfort in exchange for future regret. It is a proposal to trade your long-term power for short-term ease. It is an invitation to betray your future self. Every time you feel the pull of procrastination, you are standing at a contractual negotiation with your own weakness. Applying the first law is the act of seeing this pathetic deal for what it is, a voluntary enslavement, and refusing to sign. The act of swinging your feet onto the cold floor is a declaration of war. It is a refusal to participate in the slow suicide of a wasted life. Do you see it now, warrior? Do you see the universal pattern? The bully's insult, the rage in traffic, the burn of the workout, the ache of loss, the siren song of laziness. They are all the same enemy wearing different masks. They are all external or internal events presenting you with a proposal to be weak, a proposal to be angry, a proposal to suffer, a proposal to quit, a proposal to be small. For your entire life, you have been a frantic, powerless consumer, accepting every proposal that comes your way. Your freedom, your power is not in fighting the event. It is in the simple, quiet, absolute authority to refuse the proposal. You are the gatekeeper. You decide which contracts get signed. This is the key that unlocks every cage. This is your armory. This is your training ground. Your life, from this moment forward, is not a series of random events that happen to you. It is a series of proposals that are presented for your review. Your mission is not to control the world that sends them. Your mission is to exercise absolute command over your own signature. Every moment is a chance to practice. Every irritation is a drill. Every temptation is a sparring partner. The war for your soul is not won in a single glorious charge on a distant battlefield. It is won in 1,000 daily refusals to sign the contracts of your own destruction. It is won in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when you choose discipline over despair. Now go to war. And so, the forge does its work. The fire does not ask for your opinion, it simply burns. The hammer does not negotiate, it simply strikes. After days, weeks, months of applying this brutal law, something begins to shift. It is not a thunderclap. It is not a sudden cinematic revelation. It is a quiet change in the gravity of your own soul. You wake up one morning and realize the static is gone. That low-grade hum of anxiety, the constant scanning for social threats that has been the soundtrack to your life, has fallen silent. The world outside is the same fools, the same challenges, the same noise. But the world inside, the one that truly matters, is finally at peace. You are no longer a leaf in the wind, tossed about by every passing comment. You have become the stone in the riverbed. The water of the world flows around you, but it does not move you. Remember the cage your body had become? The slumped shoulders, the shallow breath, the constant tension in your jaw? Look in the mirror now, warrior. See what discipline has forged. Your posture has changed not because you forced it, but because your spirit no longer has a reason to cower. You stand taller because you are no longer carrying the invisible weight of other people's opinions. Your gaze is direct. It does not dart around the room seeking approval or anticipating attack. It simply sees what is. Your voice, once hesitant and thin, now carries the resonance of conviction. This is not the false bravado of the insecure. This is the calm, physical presence of a person who owns the ground they stand on. Your body is no longer a monument to fear. It has become the vessel of your will. The arena of your career is transformed. The meeting room, once a place of terror, is now simply a place of work. You speak not because you crave the spotlight, but because your ideas have value and the mission requires them. When the clever bully lobs their sarcastic dart, something remarkable happens. Nothing. You don't flinch. You don't burn with shame. You don't scramble for a reply. You simply register the comment as irrelevant data, a momentary distraction from the objective, and you steer the conversation back to what matters. You have stopped playing the pathetic game of social status because you are now engaged in the far greater game of building a life of purpose. They are playing checkers in the dirt. You are carving a legacy out of stone. And the world responds, not with applause, but with a palpable shift in dynamics. The bullies, the ones who fed on your reactions, begin to avoid you. Their attacks require a soft target, an emotional response to validate their power. You offer them nothing. You are a void where their power disappears. They sense they are dealing with something they do not understand, a creature operating under a different set of laws. The silent chorus, the onlookers who once validated the bully with their smirks, now watch you with a mixture of confusion and respect. They do not know the code you live by, but they recognize its power. You have not won their approval. You have made it obsolete. This is the nature of true freedom, warrior. It is not the freedom to do whatever you want. It is the freedom from wanting the wrong things. You have been liberated from the most tyrannical master of all, the desperate need for external validation. The opinions of the crowd, which once held the power of life and death over your spirit, are now just noise. You post the article, you launch the project, you speak the truth, not for the likes or the praise, but because it is the right action. You have become the source of your own validation. The judgment of the world is a flickering candle against the sun of your own self-respect. Do not mistake this for arrogance. Arrogance is a desperate scream for attention. It is the brittle armor of the deeply insecure. What you have forged is something else entirely. It is a quiet, unshakable confidence that comes from knowing your inner citadel cannot be breached. It is the calm of the master swordsman who does not need to draw his blade to prove his skill. It is a strength that has no need to announce itself. It is felt. It is a presence. You move through the world with a purpose that is not dependent on the applause or condemnation of those who are still slaves to their own feelings. The war is not over. It is never over. But you are no longer fighting the same battle. You are no longer engaged in a desperate defensive crouch, trying to protect your fragile dignity from the words of fools. That war is won. Your new war is a war of expansion. It is the daily battle to apply your will, your focus, and your discipline to meaningful goals. The energy you once wasted on anxiety and shame is now fuel for your mission. You are no longer a target. You are a weapon. You are no longer a prisoner of the arena. You are its master. This is the inevitable consequence of the forge. This is the new identity you have earned in fire and steel. You have absorbed the law. You understand the diagnosis, but understanding is not victory. Knowledge that is not applied is a coward's treasure, a useless map of a battle you refuse to fight. The distance between the man you are and the warrior you will become is bridged by one thing and one thing only: daily, brutal, repetitive discipline. We will now take this abstract law and forge it into a physical ritual. This is not a meditation. This is not a journaling exercise. This is combat training for your soul. We call it the armory of the mind, and your first sparring partner is the man in the mirror. Your mission begins tonight, or right now. I don't care. Find a mirror, lock the door. This is your dojo. This is your forge. You need 5 minutes of absolute solitude. Look at the reflection in front of you. That is not you, not the warrior you are building. That reflection is the embodiment of every weakness you have ever surrendered to. It is the face of your fear. It is the ghost of every humiliation you have swallowed. It is the traitor within the walls who has been signing the contracts of your destruction your entire life. Your first enemy is not the bully in the office. It is the coward in the glass. And you're about to break him. Now you will arm yourself. I want you to summon the words that have wounded you the most. Not the petty annoyances, but the deep cuts. The comment about your intelligence that made your stomach drop. The joke about your appearance that you still hear ringing in your ears at night. The passive-aggressive remark that questioned your competence. You will not run from these memories. You will weaponize them. Take a breath. Look your reflection dead in the eye, and you will speak one of these insults out loud. Say it with the same venom, the same condescending tone it was delivered with. Hurl it at the man in the mirror. You're not smart enough for this. You'll never be a leader. Look at you. You're pathetic. Feel the sting. Good. Now we teach you how to cauterize the wound. Here is your first weapon, a verbal parry forged by Marcus Aurelius himself. It is the art of amused agreement. When the insult is hurled, you do not deny it. You do not argue. You do not defend. You find the grain of truth or the absurd exaggeration, and you agree with it calmly, with a slight hint of amusement, as if you're observing a curious child. The insult, "You're so quiet in meetings. It's like you're not even there." The undisciplined mind flinches and makes excuses. The warrior looks his reflection in the eye and replies, calmly and with a slight smile, "You're right. I do tend to think before I speak." The insult, "That idea will never work. It's ridiculous." The warrior's retort, "It is a bit unconventional, isn't it? Do you see? You are not accepting their frame, that you are flawed. You are seizing the frame, agreeing with the neutral facts, and stripping the insult of its intended emotional poison. You are taking the punch and letting its energy flow harmlessly around you. Now you will drill. Look the coward in the mirror in the eye. Hurl the insult. "You're not smart enough for this." Then deliver the retort. "You're right, I certainly have a lot to learn." Watch your face as you do it. Is there a flinch? Is there a tremor in your voice? Is there shame in your eyes? Then you go again, and again, and again. You will repeat this sequence until the words become meaningless noise. You are not memorizing a line. You are rewiring your nervous system. You are replacing the muscle memory of shame with the muscle memory of unshakable calm. You are training your body, your voice, and your spirit to default to empower, not to panic. You do this until the man in the mirror no longer looks like a victim, but like a warrior staring back at you with cold, disciplined eyes. This is not a one-time fix. This is your new daily practice. Every morning, you will enter the armory. You will face your reflection. You will drill with the insults of yesterday until they have no more power over you. This is the grind. This is the forge. This is how philosophy stops being a comforting idea and becomes a hardened reality. Etched into your very being, you are building an internal fortress, brick by brick, drill by drill. The world can throw whatever stones it wants. They will find nothing but steel. The training is simple. The discipline is absolute. Your freedom depends on it. Begin now. The battle is over, but the war is eternal. We have journeyed into the heart of your fear and dragged the enemy into the light. We have exposed the great lie that your pain is inflicted by others. It is not. The wound is, and always has been, self-inflicted. You have learned the first brutal law. You will not participate in your own destruction. You have been handed the master key to your own mind, the power to withhold your assent, to stand at the gate and deny entry to the poison of another's judgment. These are not theories you have learned, warrior. These are weapons you have forged in the fire of your own will. They are now a part of you, fused to your very spirit. Look back, just for a moment, at the person who started this journey. The one who flinched at a sharp word, whose stomach churned with anxiety in the meeting room, who replayed every humiliation on a loop of silent suffering. That person is a ghost, a casualty of the war you chose to fight. You did not change the world. The fools and bullies still walk among us. They still spew their venom. The difference is that you are no longer a target. You have become a fortress. Their words are now just noise outside the walls of your inner citadel, meaningless and pathetic. You did not come here to learn how to win their pathetic game. You came here to become so powerful that you no longer need to play. You are the gatekeeper. You are the commander. You are the final authority on your own worth. Let this truth settle into your bones until it becomes the bedrock of your existence. Your peace is not a gift from the world. It is a territory you have conquered. Your dignity is not granted by the approval of the crowd. It is a throne you have, seized by force of will. From this day forward, you will live by a new code, a final decree that will govern every interaction, every challenge, every moment of doubt. Let it be the first thing you remember in the morning and the last thing you affirm at night. Your war motto is this: my consent is my own. If this battle has ignited a fire in your soul, then prove it. Your training is not over, it is just beginning. Go to the comments now and write the one phrase that will be your shield and your sword for the days ahead. It could be, my mind is sovereign, I am the fortress, or simply, I do not consent. Declare your law to the world. Share this transmission with another warrior who is still fighting in the dark, who needs to be awakened. Subscribe to this channel to continue your training in the forge. Discipline is a daily practice. We will see you in the arena. Remember the final truth, Stoic warrior. You didn't learn 5 clever retorts to silence a bully. You learned the one brutal principle that makes them utterly irrelevant. You can only be harmed if you give your permission to be harmed. That power has now been revoked, forever. The world is the same as it was an hour ago, but you are not. You are no longer the steel on the anvil. You are the hammer. Now go and shape your world.